Today, APP is announcing its second quarterly progress report of APP Sustainability Roadmap. Before we reach the announcement itself, please welcome the chairman of Asia Pulp and Paper Group, Mr. Teguh Gandawijaya, to deliver the welcoming remark to this event.
As a proud Indonesian company and as a global leader, APP wants to set a benchmark for forest production for others in our industry to follow.
First, we would like to share that effective January 31st, 2013, we have suspended all natural forest clearance among all suppliers of APP to allow conservation assessment to take place. And secondly, we will protect all natural forests across our operations, including those on peatland. This means that there will be no more natural forests cut in Indonesia by our company or anyone who supplies us. To help us with this commitment, we will implement high carbon stock assessment in addition to our existing conservation commitments. On peat, as well as stopping further development in peatland forest, we will also implement best practice measures with the inputs of independent experts to both reduce and avoid greenhouse gas emissions. And in relation to our social responsibility, we aim to adopt the highest international standards for respecting the rights of indigenous peoples and local community. And finally, to demonstrate just how determined we are to deliver on these commitments, we are inviting NGO observers to participate in the process which will monitor our implementation. In the last few months, many questions have been asked about whether we have the plantation fiber that we need to meet our commitments to protect forests and to continue to expand our business. And the answer is, yes, we do. For that, I have to acknowledge the work of my colleague, Robin Maloa, the CEO of Sinarmas Forestry, who will be joining our panel discussion later. Independent assessments of the growth and yields of APP suppliers' plantation trees or plantation areas confirm that the company has sufficient plantation resources to meet our needs.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the panel discussion to go along with today's announcements by APP. I would like to briefly also introduce the panel. So we have Robin Malola, CEO of Sinarmas Forestry. Then we have Ada Greenbury, Managing Director of Sustainability and Stakeholder Relations for the Asia Pulp and Paper Group. Then on my right, we have Lloyd Jones, Managing Director of APCS. Moving further right, we have Neville Kemp from Ecologica. Next, and on the end, but no means out on a limb, we have Scott Poynton, who is an Australian forester. Scott founded the Tropical Forest Trust in March 1999, better known as TFT. Clearly, we have an eminent and knowledgeable panel here. So a very quick little bit about me. My name is Mark Rushton, as you've heard, and I'm the editor of Pulp and Paper International magazine, which is part of the RISI organisation. How much natural forest do you think will be saved as a result of today's announcement?
Yeah, Mark, we're still doing the analysis on that. We've got some new satellite data, but the estimates are anywhere between 150 to 250,000 hectares of land that would have been available for plantations will be set aside as a result of this announcement.
It's been just exactly like you described it, a roller coaster ride. There's always surprises. You never know what to expect, but I believe they're on the right track now.
Okay.
I think it's one of the aspects that high conservation value assessments do not consider is greenhouse gas emissions and carbon stocks, and the use of high carbon stock and this peat policy by APP is a brave move.
Okay, Scott, any words on peat?
Yeah, well, I think just to echo what everyone else has said, it's a strong move. It really shows that APP are thinking as global citizens. I think. Not just looking at putting trees in the ground, they're actually very aware of the fact that peat stores millions of tonnes of carbon that, if drained, goes up into the atmosphere. And I think APP has taken a strong step here to demonstrate a real leadership position on setting those peatlands aside and protecting them. And I think it would be a wonderful, wonderful thing if other companies would follow their lead.
I'd like to bring Scott, Neville and Loy here because you guys seem to have been working along with people in quite a big way. Can I ask you in turn to comment about what your experiences are with the social issues of the policy, of the new policy? And can you tell us about your experience of what people on the ground outside of APP actually feel about the company's operations?
Yeah, so look, I think it's no secret that there's still conflict. There's still social conflict out there in the concession areas. APP doesn't hide away from that. But part of the work of the TFT, we have a very strong social team. We've done a lot of work in Indonesia in the past. For example, here in Java with Peratani, the teak corporation. We help them work very closely and resolve conflicts with communities. And APP has asked us to do the same thing. So we have our team very focused on that, starting the process of working through conflict resolutions in the hottest places, the hottest conflicts, and helping APP to build its capacity going forward to head these conflicts off before they start.
Okay.
So I think the key thing is that the policy, under the policy commitment number 3, the details of which are in the packs that everyone will be getting, they set out a set of principles by which APP will approach this whole question. And they really are, I think, very responsible principles, world-class principles in terms they recognise free, prior and informed consent, they recognise the rights of Indigenous and local communities to say no. They recognise the need to respect human rights and to have a responsible approach to conflict resolution. So I think that is the key area. It's one thing to turn the bulldozers off, and that's what's happened now. It's another thing to get out there and actually work with the communities to resolve what are long-standing conflicts. And I think that's where the biggest challenge lies ahead. But with this policy, I think APP has set itself a very high standard of ethical and moral behaviour to try and work through these issues in a very responsible way. So we've got a lot of work ahead on that, but the commitment with this policy gives us that space to do so in the right way. So I think we can find a way forward here.
Okay.